You know, I think too, though, in going forward in the panel, as we start to do implementation, that it's going to be really important that we go back to our survey, because one of the reasons that one-way street was such an argumentative thing was because it was so overwhelmingly denied by the survey. And our mandate, I thought, you know, most people thought our mandate and what they were told in the survey was things that were overly approved, but by the majority would be pushed by the panel, and things that were not approved by the majority would not be. And that was one of the reasons why the one-way streets was such, because a lot of people thought the idea of the survey was so that you couldn't take a public meeting, bring 15 or 20 people into it, and make it seem like the whole town wanted to do something when the survey said no. And that's why that one-way streets brought up such a lot of
the thing that never happened there, if you look at the traffic engineer's statistics in terms of conflict resolution, there was a legitimate argument for one-way streets.
I don't.
But it was too much of a change, and I don't think Boca Grande was there.
But I also think that, you know, we went down and pushed for the historic panel and used that the community overwhelmingly wanted it. Then the community overwhelmingly did not want one-way streets, but we still pushed for it. That's an issue. And I think that
we didn't push for it, but we didn't push for it. We listened to the facts. And I think what you have to do is, in a situation like this, you have to listen to the facts, and then you have to try to be objective, and you have to listen to your constituency also.
Well, we didn't, because the survey didn't support it, so we didn't listen to what constituency, and the survey is our mandate.
The person that blew it out of proportion was Gary Goodery at the Beacon.
He said we were
and that was not correct.
I'm not talking about blowing out a section. What I'm saying is, Bayne, is that when we implement things in this panel, we need to stick to what the people in the survey, which didn't we have to file a certified copy with Lee County to show what people wanted done and not wanted done?
Oh, absolutely.
And if you go back and take a look, people didn't even want, nobody wanted the one-way streets. We spent so much time on something that nobody even asked us to do.
The only time that was spent on it, okay, we had several discussions here. The time that was spent on it was in the Boca Beacon, blowing way out of proportion. And I don't think that it's irresponsible. We have, you know, one-way street examples in Arcadia with Highway 17, that was done 6 years ago. And I'll tell you, you want to look at all the options. So I asked Ted Frisch to just take a look at it. And he came up with what the results were in terms of the increase in parking and the reduction of conflict. But it was never, I mean, I think if you go back and look at our minutes, you'll see that we decided that it was not what our constituency wanted. So we were not really going to deal with it again. But it should have never been blown out of proportion the way that it was.
My point is that it shouldn't have been brought up at all. I mean, why are we taking something that people overwhelmingly asked us not to do?
Because we're not traffic engineers. We're not traffic engineers, and we need to look at what experts tell us and what they suggest. And I think that you want to look at all the options.
Well, I disagree with your philosophy on it. I thought that we were supposed to do what the survey asked us to do. The survey overwhelmingly said they did not want one-way streets. I mean, that's not my point. I'm not trying to make any other point about who blew it up or who didn't.
Right.
That if every time we go forward with things on this panel, are we going to look at that survey and take into consideration what the people asked us to do or not do, or are we just going to change it?
We certainly will be guided. We will be guided by the survey, but at the same time, we also will be guided by the suggestions that our consultants have made. And I think it's important, and it is responsible to take a look at all the suggestions that consultants have made. And I think in that situation, Dave, it's really not worth discussing it anymore, because I think we're basically on the same page.
What I'm saying is that we took 3 meetings that got absolutely nothing accomplished in the end, because we were very boldly told, or bluntly told, that people didn't want one-way streets because we didn't listen to what they told us on the survey. I'm not arguing with how it got blown up or what your reasoning was, is we didn't implement anything or haven't moved forward. I mean, you look at the time that we spent on that in the meetings and how much it overcasted.
I don't think we spent much time on it at all.
I think it dominated
Well,
all that.
You made a very good point, Dave, and I have to say I was really surprised. And
sort of blindsided when we got into this one-way traffic thing. And so I'm sort of with you on this, but it's over, it's history now.
I just want to move forward that way. We brought up this about going before the people and talking about what we've accomplished. We need to really be careful, and I think we should pull the survey out every time somebody brings up something that they want to move through this panel and say, what did the people on Boca Grande tell us to do? They're the ones who told us to do, not whether it's just 2 or 3 people that came to the public meeting that day. Because that way we can actually move things forward. We can use the survey and say, this is what the people of Boca Grande asked us to do. And then we have the backup to do it. Rather than taking on something that in the end the people can stand up and say, this is not supported. Somebody can take it to the commissioners and say, look at the survey, this is not supported. They've spent, that's what I'm saying, that's how the panel needs to operate.
Yeah, but
I'm not trying to use one example or anybody on this side or that side. I'm just saying, in my opinion, that's how the panel
I
should
think
go
you
forward.
make a very good point, and I can also see that there might be a circumstance where we might have discovered something where if the people had known it at the time they did the survey, they might have voted otherwise. But
And you can always go back to the people and say, we got new information, reaffirm.
Right.
And there are a lot of policies and the approved plans that aren't in the survey. So we can't limit ourselves to just looking at the survey. What we have to do is look at the policies in the approved plan, because that's our operating.
Wait a minute.
But when you come to a policy that is in the plan that was disagreed, or one that's in the plan, that's in the survey that was agreed on, then that definitely is a mandate. To add something, yeah, you're right, the other things come up as you have conversations, A, B, and C become A1, B1, but you can't do
Dave, I
that.
think what you need to do is, what I think it's important for you to understand, not that you need to understand, is our request of Ted Treach was, look, we want to improve, first of all, safety. Vehicular safety, bicycle safety, golf cart safety, pedestrian safety. Next, we want to improve circulation. What are our options? And he gave us the options, and he gave us the facts. That's now a matter of record. Okay. The survey is also a matter of record. We followed the survey. We followed the survey. But we have his facts that don't look so bad when you think about it. But the community wasn't ready for it, so that's fine. Things like, finding better parking for construction workers. So
I'm not,
that's something
I'm
that's not in the survey, but it's something.
I'm not trying to argue one point or another, or construction workers or whatever. I'm just trying to argue a point overall that we need to be more careful about what we go forward with before we go forward with it.